GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad and a soul train frame. We fly that flow. Spread that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. Bounce that all. We fly it all. Funk it all. We fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a glass from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.
Welcome, friends. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Night Fartbags Anonymous. I gotta give Kevin Sumner some OBS access over here. Kevin, what's up?
Please, sir, may I have some OBS?
All right, let me click through here. Live stream on air. And share screen. And I'm gonna share OBS. OBS is being shared. You got it, Kevin?
Kevin. There it is.
All right, sick. So yeah, the voice of God is Kevin Sumner. Thank you as always for helping me out here this lovely Monday night. We are going to be testing 32,500 kV WeBleed motors with the 1.5mm motor shafts versus some 40,000s. You can buy the 40,000s with the 1.5mm motor shaft now. They went for sale pretty recently. This set, for the record, that I'm going to be running on here, I did a bell swap on. WeBleed sells just these 0702 bells with the 1.5mm motor shafts. This stator on this set of motors is from back before Zotac was offering them with the 1.5. So, for the record, if you order these 40,000s with the 1.5 mil shaft, they are gonna be different but they're not. There is a chance, albeit a very small chance, maybe no chance, that they're different than these because I bell swapped them. But it's not. The motors are made in the same place to the same specs. There'd be absolutely no reason for the manufacturer of these motors to change anything between the 1 mil shaft, the 1.5mm shaft, between 32,000, 40,000. It's all the same. So, yeah, this should be a really good test. This is the indestructible Tiny Whoop. This is built around Happy Model 2G4 AIO, the most durable AIO that we've ever seen. The frame is the Newbie Drone Cockroach V3. Super durable frame. I also really like this. I really like it because it's got really tall ducts. And the taller the duct, the slower the quad is going to be, or the Cinewhoop, or whatever. And for flying inside the house, you want it to be kind of slow for freestyle. For racing, sure, you want to go really fast. But for freestyle, you want to be able to actually slow down and be really accurate. The propellers are Gemfan 1219S. These are the best 1.2-inch propellers available right now with a 1.5 millimeter mounting hole in them. We've got an old school Mobula 6 canopy. Again, this canopy has the most surface area, and so it slows this thing down the most, right? You're going forward, you turn to the side, the canopy has a whole bunch of plastic that's going to hit the air. The ducts on the frame, again, nice and tall, and so you're going one direction, you turn, it's going to have a bunch of drag, and it's going to start to actually change directions. I know it might not seem like a lot of a difference between this frame and the duct height and some of the other frames, this canopy and like a Bri-Brain canopy or the air canopies, but if has anybody in the chat built this Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop setup and then flown it against them? It is night and day. There is absolutely no questioning it when you fly something with this setup, with the tall ducts, with this canopy, versus something that's basically more aerodynamic from the side view, right? Do I have one floating around? Yeah, I do. So, like, in case you don't believe me, this is a Newbie Drone Race. This is on the Light AF frame, which has the same duct height as the Air 65 V2 frame, and then this is a Bri-Brain canopy, which is roughly the same amount of surface area, maybe a little bit more surface area than the Air canopy V2. And just look at these, like just look at them side by side, and just imagine that the air is hitting them. Like, there's a difference, right? Like, look how little of my big dumb face you can see now. And now look how much of my big dumb face you can see. I have eyes. I don't have eyes. I have eyes. No eyes. And so it really does make a difference. This setup is so good inside the house. It's just so accurate. Like, it always wants to go absolutely in a straight line, which is exactly where you're going. You hit more gaps. You smash into the walls less. And in the process, it's unbelievably durable. This canopy is ridiculously durable. By the way, the camera is a Runcam Nano 3, which are a little bit hard to find. You can find the NanoHawk version of this camera, and or I think I might have one or two of these. Don't quote me on this. They might have sold out, but I had 8 of these Runcam Nano 3s for sale on my website. They are either sold out or there might only be like 1 or 2 left. And so, yeah, that's this build. Oh, yeah, ORT Micro V antenna in my very specific 46 millimeter length with the extended shrink wrap here so that it fits beautifully into the back of the frame. This is the ultimate / indestructible Tiny Whoop formula. I've been testing and testing and testing and testing for the better part of the last like 2+ years. And this is the absolute best setup that I've found for being able to rip inside your house and not like in like a freestyle kind of 3-dimensional power loop, Matty flip, wall rides, like everything that you do outside but inside. This is the absolute best way that I've found to do that. And good Lord, have I tested kind of everything. I mean, I'm sure there's so like the sub 250 Whoop frame, for example. I haven't tested that, but I heard from 2 people that I trust that it breaks immediately. And so there's certain stuff that I won't test because it's just a waste of time. But my God, I've probably tested at least 90% of the stuff out there, and just absolutely railed it around in this basement here, which is like, I don't know, 400 square feet maybe, and then upstairs, which is a lot bigger. And yeah, this is it, man. This is the best way to fly the way that I fly. Kevin, what's the closest setup that you have to this?
What KV are those?
Right now, they're 32.5.
32.5. I think I have 32.5 at 702 he bleeds on a 65 with. I don't run the ball set canopies. I know it's blasphemy. I don't run the ORTs either. I still run the little whips.
For shame.
High blades. PT 2.0.
Do you love it?
I mean, it is the best of the 65 mils I've ever flown.
There you go. And it's pretty close. Which biblades?
The gym fans. I have a heap of the old gym fan biblades. Older.
They're not terrible. They're not terrible.
Good.
I'm gonna one of these days I'm gonna send you a setup to compare that to. Probably the one that I sent to Spider Sugar. I sent Spider Sugar basically this same thing, but in green for him to see how it compares to the other stuff that he's flown. And I talked to him at Sloss. I didn't think he'd had a chance to fly it yet, but he said he has flown it and it's really good. So I need to bug him to shoot. He said he was going to do a something with it, like either an edit or something. I got to bug him to send it back, and then I'll probably send that to you so you can compare that, because this is just it's magic, and I'm always curious. People that have like tried a couple different setups, I'm always curious to see what they think about like what I've found to be kind of like the best, even though there really is no best. We all know that. In the chat, Kevin was first. For the Win was next. Jay Tux, the Bruce, Jimmy the Cow, Replicator, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Giddy Bots, Jay Tux again, Jimmy the Cow again, Douglas 6, Nathan Adams, Uke McMucus, Uriel, Matthew Wagner, Fizz PV, Jimmy the Cow, Token, Dead. I'm just gonna call you Dead because I words elude me sometimes. Mupshot, Drew. Atreides is in the house. What's up, dude? G Wolfman. Uriel again. What's in my eyeball? I think I got most folks. Thanks for coming, friends. Hope you're ready for some crashing, because that's how I fly Tiny Whoops. What's happening? There's something in my peripheral vision. If you want to talk directly to me, just type at CiottiFPV like Jimmy Cow did right before he said moo. FizzPV says, help, I'm being repressed. How so? Uke says, nice, these are the two 65mm builds I have now. Been running the 40,000 since December. Longest lasting 0702 for me yet. 32,500 KVs are brand new. Also, hey, these are fairly new motors. Not absolutely brand new, but these are pretty fresh sets of motors. With the 1.5mm motor shafts, the typically pretty quick demise of Tiny Whoop motors is a much slower death. Usually a 1mm motor shaft Tiny Whoop motor, if you crash hard, 20 to 30 batteries in, they start to perform worse, and then they just keep going downhill as they get more banged up. With these 1.5mm shafts, that, you know, instead of it being a decline like this, it's going to be like this. They're still going to get beat up though. We ask far too much of these motors, and you know, when you crash, like with Tiny Whoops, right? Like crashing is hysterical, and you can do it 10, 15, 20 times per battery, no problem at all. We're trying to fly in infinitely small spaces. And there's like no consequences, right? Like we go and we fly outside, and like we could smash into somebody's car or like hit somebody and hurt them. And so we don't crash a lot outside. Indoors with Tiny Whoops, it's like, who cares? I mean, I assume that you guys are like me. It just doesn't matter. It's whatever. You know, if you build them durable, you can pound them off the walls hundreds of times before you break anything. And so it is important to remember that Tiny Whoop motors are like a wear item. As if you're crashing, if you're flying hard and crashing, which you should be, because like it's one of the really cool advantages of these really lightweight Tiny Whoops inside your house, is that you can push significantly beyond your limit, which is where you learn the most and which is where you improve the most, because you get to see what's actually possible and you get to try crazy stuff. But in the process of doing so, all of those impacts do take a toll on the motors. Of course, the props as well, but we're used to that, right? We're used to replacing props all over the place, flying outside. But it is important to remember that like tiny whoop motors don't tend to break like when we fly outside, right? Like we fly a 3-inch or a 5-inch build outside, and we crash it 5 or 10 times, and on the 11th hit, you bang a motor bell into a metal pipe, and the motor bell dings in, and the motor's completely locked up, and it's like, I'm replacing that motor now, or at least that motor bell now. The tiny whoop motors don't do that. They just get worse and worse and worse and worse. You typically won't hit one hard enough to just straight up kill it, but you kill it with these not tiny impacts, but with multiple impacts over and over and over again. So if you're crashing a lot and you've got like 100 batteries through a set of tiny whoop motors, just buy a new set of motors. You're gonna have to buy a replacement set of motors anyway. Just buy them now, put them on, and see how the performance changes. If you haven't done this before, if you've done this before, you know this whole sort of cycle. But one of the best things to do is to throw a fresh set of motors on it, fly a bunch of batteries, put the fresh set of motors on it, and then fly it. And you might see a massive difference. You might not. And then maybe leave those on, maybe go back to the other ones, whatever. Now you have an extra set of motors. You're going to kill them at some point anyway. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. Tiny whoop motors are a wear item. When I was heavy into motorsport, it was a really hard reality that wheels, rims, as strange people call them, are a wear item. You spend $1,000+ on a fancy, shiny, beautiful set of wheels, and you go autocross a whole bunch, track day a bunch, mainly track days because you bang them into the curbing, apex and exit curbing usually. And wheels crack. I had on my Miata a set of 949 Racing 6UL wheels, some of the lightest weight, strongest, coolest wheels in the Miata world, and I broke one from just autocrossing, just from stress and stress and stress and stress. The car did 1.5 G laterally. And so the full weight of the car, right, all like 2,100 pounds of the car, plus an additional 50%, right? So like 3,200 pounds going sideways into that wheel. Eventually, a spoke will crack on the wheel. And so it's one of those weird things, like with wheels on cars, you think like, yeah, you buy them and they're good forever. Not if you're going to run them hard. Tiny whoop motors, if you're going to run them hard, if you're going to crash a bunch, same kind of deal. They're a wear item. Wrap your head around that, because a lot of people will like message me or whatever and be like, man, you know, my whoop is not flying great. It was flying awesome at first, and now it's a couple months later and it's flying terrible. And every time it's just like your motors are just shot. Just buy a fresh set of motors, throw them on there. If that wasn't the problem, you're going to need them anyway. We're talking $40 here, right? We're not talking like $100 for a set of 5-inch motors. Just snag them, throw them at the quad. It'll probably make it so much better. But yeah, tonight we've got 2 relatively fresh sets of motors. I've done motor testing in the past, and I've not realized that one of the set of motors that I was putting onto it was kind of old, and I've had weird sort of test results that like didn't make sense. And it was because it was a set of motors that was, you know, in the shelf, sitting on the shelf for a while, that I'd put 50, 60, 70 batteries through over the last couple of years or whatever. And like, yes, it was 40,000 kV, but it was beat to death, and it makes a huge difference. So there you go. Have you had this experience, Kevin, where with tiny whoop motors just like slowly dying, and then you replace them and you're like, oh my God.
Funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I had this weekend, I was outdoors flying my 2S75 builds. They're on 0802, really old the Beta FPV motors from forever ago. They made them like, I want to say they're like 20,000 kV or 19.5 or something.
Right.
Anyway, I was getting this weird behavior where it was like, it was dipping an arm. I was like, that's strange. Is my ESC going? And then, you know, I give a full throttle go round on a battery, and about halfway through the battery, it just tumbled out of the air. turns out one motor real hot and nice and black on the inside. I think it was the enamel coating starting to let go on the
Right.
inside, and so I was getting a little bit of arc between the windings. And
Awesome.
finally it let go altogether. So I've got a 0802 I got to replace.
It's funny, we always blame the ESC. And like rightfully so. It is usually like that behavior that Kevin's describing is typically the ESC, and it makes sense that it would be the ESC, but not always. Like it's yeah, don't always blame the ESC. I'm super guilty of that. In that scenario, I would 100% be like, this AIO is shot. I'm gonna have to replace it. I will literally have to like stop myself and be like, nope, let's change the props first. That's probably not it, but that's the easiest thing to change. And then let's look at the motors. You don't have to replace the motors in that scenario. You just switch them. You take the rear two motors and put them on the front, take the front motors and put them on the rear, or right to left, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just move the motors around and you see if that behavior chases or goes away. And so if it's dropping the right rear and you go back to front to back, if it was the motor, it's now going to start dropping the right front, and that's like a dead giveaway. Yeah, it's wild that motors get beat up enough to actually. I wonder if they're just getting beat up and killing the enamel, or if it's like a manufacturing issue. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, motors are a wear item, people. Remember that. So where did it just go? TAA Token says, what are your favorite 45 millimeter props for 1.5 millimeter motor shafts? 45 millimeters is 1.8 inches. 1.8 inch props only work on the Beta FPV. Well, there's two frames now. Beta FPV Meteor 75 Pro, which is very heavy. And then there's now also the Mobula M18, M81, M18. I think it's the Happy Model M18 frame. It's the frame that comes on the Mobula 704. Those are the only two frames that work with 1.8 inch props. I do not have any 1.8 inch builds specifically because there are no really good props for them. There are two Gemfan propeller options, and they are both awful heavy, not very durable, and out of balance. Not super well balanced. They're not like full blown out of balance. Like you can run them, but they're not anywhere near as well balanced as the HQ options. HQ has three different 1.8 inch props, all three of which, much like pretty much all of the other HQ ultralight props, are too fragile. The bi-blades are great. The tri-blades are okay too. I like the bi-blades the best. The HQ 1.8 inch bi-blade is the best of the 1.8 inch props, but it's just too fragile. Like you just can't crash with it. On the HQ ultralight props, the hub of the propeller, they made it very small and very lightweight, and the propellers perform really well because of that. But when you start crashing them, that hub cracks, and then eventually you have a crash where the propeller just explodes. And now you can't take it off, right? Like you're missing a propeller, you're not going anywhere. And if that's like somewhere unrecoverable, that sucks. And so, boy, did I try like so much to get the 1.8 inch rigs going. And every single time that I have one, I fly 10 batteries through it. And by the end of the 10 batteries, I'm so frustrated by constantly having to replace propellers after every 2 or 3 crashes, from them exploding and taking the walk of shame because you can't fly at home when there's a prop missing, that I just pull it apart. And the 1.6 inch propeller rigs, 75 millimeters motor to motor, and the 2 inch propeller rigs, in my opinion, are the way to go. That like in between there is like kind of interesting, but not interesting enough until we get a good propeller. If there was a durable, lightweight, well-balanced prop, it would be a more realistic kind of thing. But yeah, at the moment, unfortunately, there's not a great prop option for it, which is maddening because it's 2026, for God's sakes. But It is what it is. If you're gonna run a 1.8-inch build like that, the HQ biblades are the way to go. They outperform all of the other props by a lot. And then the one negative is that they explode every once in a while. So just don't crash. Just don't crash. Just don't even fly. Just build it and just put it on the shelf and just don't even fly it. Just leave it there. It'll be safe. You won't lose it. You won't have to worry about what props to run or what motors to run. Just don't fly at all. Just quit FPV. Just don't crash. Just quit. Just quit. Pick up basket weaving. If I see one more person say just don't crash on a Facebook group or Reddit, I'm going to have a literal conniption. I haven't said the word conniption in forever. This is tonight's a special night.
I think you just had a conniption live on stream in front of everybody.
DrewSif85 says, not a motor question, but need a little help trying to find the front arms for a Hexplorer LR4. What the hell is that? Not at the major FPV drone stores. Any help would be great, please. Thanks. Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Explorer is the obviously a hex, and it's a long range 4-inch.
Interesting. Well, that's not it because that's not a hex. But so yeah, I mean, because I don't even know what it is. I don't have like any actual knowledge on where to maybe get the arms. But what I can tell you is that on CiottiFPV.com, there's a link to my Discord. To get full access to the Discord, you do have to give me $3 of your dollars every month and join my Patreon. But I believe, I could be wrong. It is behind the paywall. You got to give me $3. There is a text channel in the Patreon section of my Discord called All FPV Retailers, where lots of people have just dumped the website of their favorite shops, their local shops, their shops in Europe, in Jabipsville. I also haven't said Jabip in forever. I'm saying all the weird words tonight. So yeah, you're pretty much going to be going in there and just clicking on every single one of those FPV shops. Or if anybody watching this knows where to get Hexplorer LR4 front arms, DrewSef85 is looking for them. Go to my Discord if you have a set of those, or if you have that frame floating around or whatever, and in general nonsense, just say, "Yo, DrewSef, I've got them for you." So there you go. That's kind of the best I can do, Drew.
Matthew Wagner says he tagged you later. Flywoo Hexplorer, you'll find it. I replied to Drew on chat, but haven't heard back.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I have
Matthew
one on
Wagner
my wall.
has a
I think I
Hexplorer
brought
on his
spares
wall.
with it.
Sick. So there we go. We might have you, Drew. Mike K says, "Speak for yourself. I crash everywhere." Double Jose says, "I'm the head of drone operations at a media consulting firm." No way. But they never need FPV footage. How did you get work in live event gigs? I want to take FPV seriously. They found me. My path into professional work has been 99%, and I'm not even exaggerating that, people finding me. I have tried... I've probably not sent 100 messages, emails, whatevers, but more than 50 Instagram messages, Facebook messages, emails, whatever, contact forms, to events and people and companies offering FPV services, and absolutely nothing. Not a single reply to any of them. I've sent quick messages, I've sent elaborate messages, I've sent examples of my work. FPV, in my opinion, FPV is so specific and it's so misunderstood that you can't reach out to someone and say, "Hey, you need this, pay me." They have to realize what kind of footage they're looking for, figure out that it's called FPV and then reach out to you. In my experience, I maybe everybody else has a different experience than me, but I doubt it. And so the way that I've gotten work is by getting into FPV 10 years ago, about 8 years ago, doing a power loop and Matty flip under a set of folding tables at Quad Camp Atlanta in front of Tommy and Bot and Joshua and Stinger Swarm and other people that I'm forgetting. Having Joshua put out an edit that got a shitload of views. I put out an edit that got a couple views. And then continuing to make FPV edits for years and years and years and years, and building a YouTube channel up and a little bit of an Instagram presence, and then starting to do live streaming 4 years ago and continuing to put as many edits up as I can, so that if someone searches Instagram or Google or YouTube for Atlanta FPV or FPV drifting, or right, like any of the things that I've put content out into the universe with, they can find me. That has been my path. I don't know of anyone who's been able to survive more than like maybe 6 months not having that sort of presence. I've yet to run into someone that has been able to just like cold call and just get gigs in the FPV space without having a little bit of internet fame, basically, which is incredibly frustrating. But it makes sense because, again, FPV is so ultra specific. Or like somebody, if you have an in, right, like, but that's always the case. So yeah, it's tough, dude. It's really tough, and it's not something that you're gonna be you're gonna be able to buy a Ferrari from. Like it's a grind, and it's super specific, and it is shrinking, unfortunately. There was a huge boom 3 or 4 years ago, and there was a point where I was booking like 2-3 gigs a week every week. At this point, if I get a gig a month, I'm happy. I will when it's warm out, I will get like 2, maybe 3 gigs a month, and that's like a really good month. But it's a little bit less every year, which is kind of scary. One of the things that does tend to happen is that if you do really good work, and you're good to work with, which I am because I was a TV radio major in college. I've spent a lot of time in that world. I've done a lot of gaffer work. I've been on set for on and off in many times over the last like 20 years. And so I just understand what the vibe is on set. I know how to like help out in a way that like people notice and like be of value, and not just like sit in the corner on my phone and wait for someone to like call for me. Like I'm active. I'm like looking for opportunities. I'm there. Like I'm ready to fly before they even realize that they need me in the next shot. If you can like do all of that, someone will hire you and they will kind of like fall in love with you, and then they will bring you on to a bunch of stuff. The problem is that's usually going to be like a director. The problem is directors don't typically last very long. Like they get burned out because a lot of time they're doing their own editing. And so over the last like 4 years, I'll get like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 gigs from a director over like 6 months, and then they'll burn out, and then I won't hear from them for a year or two. And then somebody else will pop up, and then I'll do a bunch of work for them, and then they'll burn. And so it's tough. It's really tough. That's been my path. I have a feeling that everybody's path is pretty different because, again, of how specific this is. There are guys that... The other thing that I see happen is that you get hooked up with like the perfect organization, and that tends to be like locale based. There's a friend of mine, a couple of states north of here, who was in the lives in the exact right place for a huge YouTuber that absolutely needed FPV. FPV was absolutely perfect for their videos, and done. Like, just like that. Oh, you're a local FPV guy that does good work? That's it. Bang. Done. Every single one of our videos, you're on set. Good to go. That, you know, that person is making really good money. Not as good money as you would think, but they've got like a constant thing, right? Because they've got this massive YouTuber who's constantly has work for FPV. That's kind of the thing, right? Is that, like, again, it's so specific that, like, you don't typically need it all the time. It's like hey, we're backflipping a car that's going to be on fire. Oh God, if you don't have FPV, you're an idiot. And then they do 4 different things that are just, you know, hey, we're going bowling. Like, no, that's, you know, not even allowed to fly there. So it's tough, dude. It's really tough. I have a hard time saying, like, you should do it, because it's not growing. Like, the need for FPV is not increasing. It's not like falling off a cliff. Like, what's basically happened is that for a little while there, it was the coolest thing. And so, like, everybody wanted it. Everybody needed it. If you didn't have FPV on set, like, you weren't doing like a professional thing. But then all of these FPV pilots delivered all this jank ass footage of them doing flips and rolls and shit. And the editors are like, well, I can't use any of this. Like, every single other camera is on a gimbal. The horizon is perfectly level. And, like, I can't cut that in with all this nonsense. And so the editors would then not use any of the footage, and the people paying for the shoot are like, well, what the hell did we just spend $1,000 on? None of the footage got used. And so and so now where we're at is that when people bring FPV on, they know what it is. People aren't just bringing it on because it's the coolest, hottest thing. Those days are gone. Now you get brought in for something very specific. And what's nice about that is that your footage does get used, and that feels really good. It's rough when you go fly a gig and you do something awesome and then they don't use it. You're like, oh, well, shit. I mean, like, yeah, okay, at least I got paid, but, like, you know, the art of flying a camera is really important to me. And so that hurts when that happens. It hasn't happened much, but yeah. So there you go. That's the best answer I can give you, brother. It's a very competitive, very tough space. But if there are, like, no other FPV people near you, and you can find some like movie industry or people making short films or sporting events or like live broadcasts, right? These things that FPV does really well, and get yourself in there. That's the way it's going to be done. For me in Atlanta, it's pretty brutal because there's like 50 pilots here, and probably 30 of them are dying to do paid gigs for free. And so it's absurdly competitive here. Luckily, I'm like one of the 2 guys that have a shitload of experience that are actually taking these jobs, and the other one typically doesn't take the jobs. And when he gets an offer, he gives them a wildly expensive day rate and just sees if they'll take it, because he doesn't necessarily need the money. But yeah, it's tough, dude. It's super tough. Yuke says, yes, I fly them super hard. It's a blast. I like trying new stuff and difficult things for me. Talking about tiny whoops inside. Daytona Jim with a $5 super chat. He says, $5 holler. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. If you like Daytona Jim, would like to support me and see these live streams continue, go over to CiottiFPV.com. Patreon is the absolute best way that you can support me. And if you do the $5 or up tier, you'll be automatically entered into a giveaway every first Monday of the month. There's an Etsy store where I have loads of cool stuff for sale. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me if you want to have like a full conversation about how to do FPV full-time. I've talked to so many folks about that, how to set up their gear, how to do like sort of marketing, like the things that I've done that have worked and haven't worked. That's a great way to do that because it is pretty specific. You know, on these live streams, I can give you like the super broad strokes, but like I don't know specifically where you are or what you're looking to do or what you're good at or what the industry is around you, stuff like that, right? There's a whole bunch of affiliate links there. It's 2026, friends. When you do an order on the internet, someone making stuff that you watch for free on YouTube has an affiliate link to that website. So before you check out on any website, find someone's affiliate link. I have a ton of them on CiottiFPV.com. I've actually changed all my bookmarks and all my URL bar auto corrects to the affiliate links because you can use your own affiliate links. So do that because you're going to forget to use them and then people are going to stop making content and you won't be able to watch them on YouTube and then you'll be sad. You don't want to be sad, do you? Kevin, do you want to be sad?
No, thanks.
Uriel says, I have a bin standing on outside of corner on truck race. You see wheels curve. That's a good Uriel chat comment right there. That's a 9.5 out of 10 right there.
That's some real good stuff.
I love you, Uriel. TAA Token says, I feel your pain. My other hobby is stunt riding motorcycles. Jesus, dude. That is more of a sickness than FPV for sure. You guys are out of your goddamn minds, but boy, are you fun to chase with with FPV quads. Jimmy the Cow with a $2 super chat. He says $2 for an @CiottiFPV. Moo! I think that's what he wanted me to do. Mike K says, check out Exoset. It's a tube frame based off of a Miata. I'm building one next summer with an RB25 for the track. Oh my god. Yeah, Exoset has been around for a long time. I think I've only driven one Exoset. I actually prefer Caterham 7s over the Exoset. So Exoset you take all of the fenders, all of the external body panels off of a Miata, basically. Well, wait, no, is the Exoset the one that uses the subframe or not? I forget. But it basically takes a Miata and makes it a little bit lighter, but it makes it a lot stiffer by making it into like sort of an Ariel Atom looking go-kart essentially. And it's really cool. But the Caterham 7, and so like it's open wheeled in the front, which is absolutely magic. But yeah, the Caterhams are they have a better engine and you sit farther back and it's just more of like an experience. And it's also a kit car. Like with an Exoset, you take a Miata, you tear it to shreds, and then you basically build it back together. The Caterhams, it's a full-blown kit, so you start with all fresh pieces, and then you like build it in your garage, and it's just, yeah, magic. It's probably cheaper to do an Exoset build, but yeah, an Exoset with an RB25. For those that don't know, RB25, RB26, this is the Nissan Skyline R32, 3, and 4 engine. An Exoset with an RB25 is a death machine. Good luck, my friend. That's going to be about, with that heavy of an engine, it's probably going to be 2,000 pounds, and you can make 1,000 horsepower pretty easy with an RB. You probably won't, but like an RB will make a stock RB will make a little over 300, I think. The gentleman's agreement in Japan says that it only makes 260, but they made quite a bit more than that.
IK wants to know how to spell that.
Spell
Not
what?
Exoset,
Caterham?
the other one. Yeah, Caterham.
Caterham. You'll recognize it as soon as you pull it up. You'll all recognize it. It's old school, super cool. I don't know if I guess it's kind of open wheel. It's not really open wheel. It's got these stupid little fenders, but yeah. Having wheels outside of the chassis that you can watch move up and down with the suspension travel and you can watch turn. I don't know why, but like it is the coolest goddamn thing on earth. Like just that, it's, I don't know. Every single time I've driven a car that's set up like that, I can't get over it. And it's different than a go-kart. Like you drive a go-kart and there is no suspension travel, but you can see the front wheels turn, which is kind of cool. But then like when there's suspension articulation, oh boy, it is, if any of you ever have a chance to drive an open wheel car, absolutely jump on it, even if it's a little expensive. It's something that you'll never forget. Atreides says, if I hang them all up, my wife will choke me because it would cover my whole house. Jules says, I threw a prop the other day, then replaced it and flew again, crashed again, of course, but this time I crashed and landed right in front of the prop I originally threw in perfect condition. Nice. I love it. Matthew Wegner says, Flywoo Hexplorer, will find it. I replied to Drew on chat, but haven't heard back. I have one on my wall. I think I bought spares with it. Nice. Hopefully you guys can get connected. For the Win says, might be a stupid question, but could you transplant a Meteor 75 Pro into a 65 millimeter frame? Obviously swapping for 0702 motors. I'll put the 1102s in a box as possible with any tiny whoops. Sometimes, but not always. Meteor 75 Pro is probably going to have an AIO that will work in any 65 millimeter frame. There have been a couple different versions of the Meteor 75 Pro. If you've got the older version of the Meteor 75 Pro, where it's the cross style AIO and then the VTX is up in the canopy, that is not going to be a great setup to put into a 65 millimeter build, because having that VTX and that heavy canopy, it makes it fat. If you have a newer Meteor 75 Pro where the VTX is built into the AIO, all day you can drop that into a 65 millimeter frame and you'll be good to go. So yeah, regardless, technically yes, you can absolutely drop that into a 65 millimeter frame and you'll go. But that old setup with the external VTX and the big heavy canopy is really, really heavy. And that would not love being in a little itty bitty frame with little itty bitty motors and all that jazz. Uriel says, Inside Friends works the best. Indeed. Uriel also says, maybe exploit your know-how. You guys are allowed to do that. He also says, one customer not okay, and then the Olympic gave a big boost to live broadcast. Yeah. It's massive that Shaggy and Dutch Drone Gods put FPV on sort of like the world stage for live broadcast stuff. FizzPV says Shark Cart. Yeah, so Shark Cart is the nickname for when you take a Miata, pull all the body panels off, and you put like a door bar in, basically, just so that you don't fall out of the fucking thing. And then you have a lighter weight. One of the biggest problems with Miatas is that the engines are just kind of shit. They're not that bad, but they're not very good. And so reducing weight is a great way to make them perform better. So one of the ways that you can remove weight, but not that much weight, is to take all the body panels off. And I guess it was Hoonigan that they put a full cage in it. But yeah, I guess they gave it the nickname Shark Cart. But yeah, that's what a. Oh wait, no, did they do it? Did they do it on a Miata chassis, or did they do it on an S14 chassis? I forget. Yeah, they did it on Miata chassis. That's right. Yeah. You can do. People are doing this to all kinds of stuff now, pulling the body panels off of S14 Silvias and E46 BMWs. Let's move away from cars. I know more about cars than FPV, and so I'll talk about cars all fucking night. But I know a lot of you probably don't care about cars. Last car comment is Uriel saying Expo face bending at Top Gear. Yeah, Expo is an open wheel car like the Ariel Atom, like these. that KTM, a motorcycle company, made. That's kind of interesting. I actually don't really love the Expo. I think the styling is shit, and I hate the farting ass VW engine that they put into it. But it does perform like an absolute rocket ship. Let us dive into, now that I'm caught up on chat, 32,500 kV motors versus 40s. And so right now on the indestructible Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop, there are 32,500 kV. What are these little... What? Are these little bugs? These are little bugs in here. They look like little brown... are these the poisonous ones? Aren't there poisonous ladybugs? These look like itty-bitty brown ladybugs. Are these poisonous? Am I going to die? Where have you come from? You little bastards. Oh, this one's dead. No, he's not dead. He just fell over. I think these are poisonous, and they're going to... And I'm going to die. So I'm going to throw them outside. Hang on. Kevin, say something funny.
Something funny.
There it is. We got him.
Can't put me on the spot like that. I mean, I got that energy on Sunday nights on Shelby's stream, but
yeah, right.
I have had zero alcohol today, so I mean, I can get there. It's the bottle of rum is right in front of me.
Just don't eat him, Atreides says. Nice. FizzPV says, had a friend put 2375 in a Formula V for autocross. 2375? What's 2375? I know too much about cars, but I don't know what 2375 is. I think that might be a typo. Cool. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to fly 2 batteries on this current setup. The past 3, I believe, live streams where I have flown Tiny Whoops, I've been flying this rig. Well, I think I flew a newbie drone rig on the most recent live stream, but the one before that. So there's been a bunch of flight footage. I'm pretty dialed in on this thing. So I'm going to put 2 of the new WeBleed 340 mAh batteries through this, and then we're going to change the motors. We're going to take a look at what RPM this thing will pull with these motors. We're going to use the same props, same everything. Let's get going. I need this. I need these. And I need one of these. These are the new WeBleed 340 mAh batteries. I can't really tell a difference between these and some of the other batteries. I did do a live stream where I tested them. They performed really good, but the differences between these batteries are so subtle. There is a difference between the 280 mAh Lava V2 batteries and all of these heavier ones. They're a full gram lighter. And so, like, if you want a battery that performs differently, it's the Lava V2 280. If you want a perfectly good battery, and you're doing an order on WeBleed, these are great. The other 300 mAh WeBleed batteries are also really good. Close your eyes and point. They're both awesome. FizzPV says stock motor for them is 12... Oh, cc's. Stock motor is 1200 cc's, which is 1.2 liters, I believe. He put a dual port, which was 2375 cc. Jesus. Yeah, Formula V is a little itty bitty open wheel Formula car. Proper open wheel, no fenders, no nothing. So if you touch wheels with somebody else, somebody's flipping the fuck over because there's not even a hint of a fender. There we go. All right. 32,500 kV coming up. Let me just cycle the power real quick because I forgot to turn on the transmitter. And yeah, wow, doubling the displacement on a probably sub 1,000-pound open wheel car is pretty bananas. Did I think I might have changed the video channel on this. I did. I changed it to race 7 because I was flying this at Sloss. Save and exit. There we go. You guys should have video now. I'm right behind. There we go. Cool. 32,500s. It looks like this lens is dirty. Let's take care of that real quick. Oh, I have missed the Fat Shark goggle beep. It's just so good. It happens in the middle of the battery. It happens in the end of the battery. It's just a complete mystery. Look, the battery is half full, but it's beeping at me. Let's change it. Oh my god, now the transmitter battery has gone to hell. Things are going well.
It reminds me, I got to charge my transmitter. It started beeping at me yesterday.
Oh god.
Everybody go charge your transmitter batteries right now.
Yeah, right? This transmitter battery did put some work in on Saturday. This transmitter, well, it wasn't, oh wait, no, never mind. It was the other transmitter I was running. This transmitter battery has been used on live streams for the last month or so. But what I was about to say is I was pretty impressed with the... so when you do Nomad, you've got you're basically running two modules off of your transmitter. And so you would think that it would absolutely murder your battery life. I was actually really surprised. It was not too bad. I went through basically like one full transmitter battery on Saturday, and I probably flew, I don't know, 40, 50 batteries on quads. So yeah, Nomad definitely hits the batteries harder, but it's still totally doable. Here we go. I'm going to cycle the power one more time, just so that I can hear the Tim Gunn theme again. Okay, finally, 32,500 kV, ultimate freestyle, indestructible tiny whoop of death. Where's my boy? There he is. Look at this handsome devil. Look how angry this German looks. Look at him. Look at those angry ass eyebrows. Teddy, do something. He's unimpressed. Let's go upstairs. So. Oh my god, the fan tried to eat me. So we're going to do some big old full throttle. Oh god. What did I just knock over? I think that's just a piece of felt. That's just a piece of felt. We're good. Does somebody mind rewinding and looking at what the RPM was there when I disarmed?
I actually got you. It's pulled up right now.
Oh my god! I just smashed face first into the IKEA shelf. Because I did a couple big full throttle throws there on a relatively fresh battery. I'm gonna do it again with the next battery, but it would be nice to have a couple of data points instead of just one. So we're going to take a look at runtime, how flight feel, how the PID loop responds, although boy, the PIDs are locked in on this thing, so
56,000.
56. Okay, cool. Thank you, dude. Oh, just barely clipped the ceiling. So 56,000, that sounds about right. Like, the really big power motors will get up into the 60s, just barely. 56,000 on pitchy tri-blades. That's good power. These are Gemfan 1219S's. I forgot the second throttle blip to slow it down. Yeah, these are 1219S tri-blades, so that's a propeller with some pitch. This thing has really good power on those motors. Oh my god, that was just... It happened so fast, you almost couldn't see what it was.
Made me tingle.
Ah, I missed it. What'd you say, Kevin?
It made me tingle.
Yeah. All right, low battery warning is starting. Let's see at a hover. We're still at 3.52. Let's fly it a little more. I like to come down and land when it's at 3.5 at a hover, which is where we're at right now. So 3.49 at a hover. So 2 minutes and 50 seconds, 53,496, of course, lower because the battery is sagging down a little bit. So 56,000. This next battery, I'm going to go straight upstairs and just hammer it to see if we can get a little bit better than 56,000. So let's do that right now. And then we're going to swap these motors over and see if it's better or worse. It's easy to think like more power, baby, right? Like more power is better sometimes, but if you're inside a house with an 8-foot ceiling and lots of stuff to crash into, maybe more power is not better. More power is harder to fly. And so, in my opinion, you should fly the lowest power setup possible. Oh my God, I cannot believe I can't believe I didn't die. So there's 58. So 56, 58, average it out, 57,000. We'll probably see 60,000 from the 40,000 kV motors in a minute. Let's do a little bit of flying up here. These the magic of these motors, of these 32,000s, in my opinion, is the throttle resolution. There is no other motor, and it could just be that I've flown a ton of batteries on these 32,000, 32,500 kV motors, but there's no motor that I've ever flown that I have so much control over the throttle with. And throttle control is absolutely the most difficult part of FPV. So if there's something that's giving you better throttle control, pay attention to that. Oh, I'm gonna hit the ceiling.
Somebody was telling me at Sloss, it might have been Fly High that the last time he flew a Whoop was on like 19,000 kV. I was like, oh brother,
Yeah,
you
haven't
just don't
even
know.
flown a Whoop. That doesn't even count as a Whoop anymore.
That's like it's saying you've flown 5-inch and the last time you did it was on a Wizard X220.
Right, on like 2205s. And those props that needed the adapter.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I didn't get it through both sides, but I'm getting better at that bar cart power loop. I find it absolutely hysterical that, like, when I first got that bar cart, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna break this shit. I'm gonna break all these glasses that I have a couple glasses that I got from a antique shop in Charleston that, like, I really like. And I was like, nah, I'm never gonna fly anywhere near this thing because I don't want to break anything. And here I am now fucking power looping it. It's because I've crashed into it enough times and nothing is broken that I'm like, okay, tiny whoops don't break fancy, handsome, thin-rimmed glasses. It's, see if I can show them to you. They're over here. So they're these two little guys. They're just like infinitely thin. The glass is like super, super, super thin. They're also incredibly difficult to drink out of, like all martini style glasses. But then I have these tumblers down here as well. These tumblers are very, very, very thin glass. But yeah, 65 millimeter tiny whoops don't break stuff, so it's fine. Okay, it just spit me out. 3.5, no, 3.51. We got one more little hit. There we go. 3.49, 3.5. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And then, what did we say? An average of 57,000 kV. So there you go. 3 minutes and 12 seconds is really good runtime. That's the other thing that I dig about these 32,005s is that the runtime is really, really good. Do we need more than 3 minutes runtime when to change the battery out takes like 10 seconds and the batteries are incredibly inexpensive? No. but for some people, that runtime is like very, very important. And if that's you, it's all good. 32,500s all day. You're gonna see a significant decrease in runtime from these 40,000s in a minute. So let's get them swapped over. I need this. I need this. And what do I got? Tri-blades. Since they're tri-blades, I'm gonna use the grappler. I'm gonna grapple these sons of bitches. So the grappler is on WeBleed, and it's got these 3 little wire loops, and so you just loop them around each propeller blade, push them to the inside a little bit. The first couple times you use it, it's fiddly, but then you very quickly get the hang of it. You loop them in, you put the pin on the motor shaft, and they slip off. You do it again because you haven't done it in a while. You actually hold them in towards the center, and Jesus Christ, I need glasses, man. I can't see anything. I can't see things anymore. Ooh, the grappler. Let's try the clone popper. The grappler just came off even when I was. I think it might have started to pull the prop off because this almost just fell off, or I was doing it on a different propeller. Let me try the grappler one more time. Maybe the grappler doesn't. So the grappler works really well on the HQ props, on the HQ ultralight props. These GemFan 1219s, the propeller blades are like smoother, and I think their smoothness is allowing these little wires to just pop right off. Nope, that one worked totally fine. Weird. These prop pullers are fairly inexpensive when you're ordering from either Tiny Whoop or WeBleed. I like the grappler and I like the clone popper. The problem with the clone popper is that what's great about the clone popper is that this fork is really thin. The problem with the clone popper is that this fork is really thin. I've broken 3 of these already. If you are using the clone popper and you're starting to like muscle it, stop, because you're going to break it. All of them, the first 2 that broke were 100% my fault. The third one, I think it was bad out of the box, and Jesse sent me another one. But that just got those off. That's really weird. I've never had an issue with the grappler, but this is the first time I've run these 1219 props in a while. So I'm going to say that 1219 props and the grappler are not friends. The clone popper is the way to go from Tiny Whoop for 1219s. Could also have something to do with the 1.5mm motor shafts, but I doubt it. I think it's just that the shape of these propeller blades are... There's kind of an angle to these propeller blades that I think is the reason that those little wire loops are popping off.
Is it just me, or does the grappler sound like a Batman villain?
That would be a good Batman villain. He just runs around with a grappling gun, grappling shit.
Yes.
He's just a grapple. Grapple's a good word. Grapple is an underused word.
You need to play more D&D, sir.
Scrapple. Wait, say again?
You need to play more D&D.
Oh, is there a grappler? I used to play D&D when I was a little lad.
In 5th edition, at least. So I'm DMing for a session right now, and our fighter, that's all he wants to do is jump on people and grapple them.
What happens? What happens then?
Then they can't get away, and then other people have, advantage on shooting them and hitting them and whatever.
Fair enough. Damn, I haven't played... I played D&D, AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, when I was in, that would be middle school. And so that would be the early 90s, the early to mid 90s. That's the last time I played D&D. I still do have a dice bag, though. For whatever reason, I kept somebody that I played D&D with like fucking crocheted a really cool little dice bag, and I held onto it for all these years with all the what would it be? So it's 4-sided. What is it? 4, 6. Does it go to 10 or is there an 8?
There's an
I
8.
think it goes to 10, right? Or is there
There's
an 8?
Yep, there's an 8.
8, and then it goes to 12, I think, right?
Correct. Yep.
And then it jumps all the way up to 20, I believe, doesn't it?
That is correct.
Look at me. I'm more nerdy than you would think. No, you know how nerdy I am. You all know. What is this? What is red on this motor plug here? Is that blood? Ooh, now is I don't know what that is. I know what it is.
Left versus right motor?
So it's on the plug on the AIO. It's the I think it's from putting Stabilant 22 on here. I think I put Stabilant 22 and then I plugged one of these plugs in that has the red mark on it for the directionality of the rotation, and I think it rubbed off a little bit. This is an excellent chance to reapply Stabilant 22, which I might do, or I'll forget in like 3 minutes.
Shankin says, have you tried the damaged 33,000 kV motors? They seem to be made by VCI.
I have not, but if they are VCI 33,000s, they're going to make an absolute mega amount of power. The VCI 30,000s, I guess they are, make more power than I think is really necessary. So yeah, if you want like outdoor motors, or if you're looking to go super fast racing, they might be a good option. But yeah, they're going to be too much for me.
BizPV says Redbox D&D only.
Oh, I don't get that reference. I don't know what Redbox is.
Real early D&D. It came with
really
came with the original guide and a starter set of dice and some other stuff in it. It's what a bunch of the old school players had. They did a re-release for 4th edition, I think. And 4th edition was terrible.
Fucking OG nerds in the house tonight. I wonder what edition. What's the deal with when did it become advanced?
That was like the first real, in air quotes, D&D. Okay, I can go look it up. I don't even remember what year it was released.
So for the record, what Kevin and I were just talking about with the red on Happy Model and Tiny Whoop and WeBleed motors, there will either be a little red dot on the connector or there won't. That designates the rotation of the motor. And so if you put the red dot on motor 1 and 4, you will not have to change your rotation in Betaflight. So I should not have to hook this up to Betaflight. I should be able to just swap these motors over and go. It's not a big deal. If you've already changed the directionality of your motors, then you're screwed. But if you get a bind and fly, or if you get an AIO and you don't change the motor direction and you match up the little red dots, then you can save a minute. Really nice if you're like out somewhere and you don't have your laptop, for example. You know what I mean?
Hey Ryan says, what was the weight on that last one, and what camera fits in the upside down ballsack canopy? He said BS, but use the name.
Runcam Nano 3. Or you can get an adapter piece, and then you can run damn near any camera. When you do the adapter piece, you have to file away at the front opening of the canopy, and keep in mind that the canopy is kind of heavy. The Runcam Nano 3 is stupidly lightweight. So the Runcam Nano 3 in the heavy canopy, it's almost like a wash versus a heavier camera with the big ass front lens in a lighter weight canopy. This is still a little bit lighter, but it's really, really close. So realistically, like this canopy on a big quad like this, totally fine. For flying inside the house, I would not want to do this setup. inside the house, it's this canopy with a Runcam Nano 3 or Air 65 V2 canopy. I've had really good luck with that with a CO3. That's your best bet. I am going to do Stablant 2022. I'm going to reapply and let dry. No, I'm not, because we're doing a head-to-head test here. And I think I've applied Stablant 22 to this AIO twice now. Stablant 22, for those that aren't absolutely the most nerdy people on earth, is an electrical contact enhancer. In the computer world, thermal paste is used between two metal surfaces because metal is not perfectly smooth. And so you put thermal paste between them, and it makes more contact area, and it transfers more heat. Stablant 22 accomplishes the same thing. It must be conductive because you put it onto two metallic surfaces. The metallic surfaces have little pits and valleys that don't make a perfect connection. You put the Stablant 22 on it, and now it makes a better connection. I did a whole live stream about it and showed between 4 and 6% increase from just putting it on. It's expensive. If you want to get a tube of it, it's going to cost you $50, and you're going to have more of it than you ever need, ever. So I bought a tube, and then I diluted it down, and then I measured it out into little tubes, which are over on my Etsy store. So if you want 4 to 6% more power and efficiency from anything that has motor plugs, snag it. You just put it on the end of a pin and just put it on the little thing. It's super easy, and it works. You get a little bit more efficiency, a little bit more power for $15 is what I have it up there, because I had to buy the stuff, I had to dilute it down, I had to buy all the little things. It took a whole bunch of time. Now I realized that the case that they were in is just open to the air, and it's got isopropyl alcohol in it, so a bunch of it evaporated. So now I'm having to combine a whole bunch of them, and now I learned, and I have it in a Ziploc bag to help with that. And so yeah, it's been a whole big pain in the ass, but I've got a bunch of vials of 0.5 milliliters of Stablant 22, which will do like probably 50 AIOs if I had to guess, because you're putting the most microscopic amount of it on there. Like the way I apply it, I literally take these fine tipped tweezers, I dip it into the liquid, the surface tension holds a little bit on here, and I just go to the 3 motor plugs and I just wipe it around there, and then I put it back into the liquid, boom, 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 back in the liquid, boom, 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 and it's good to go. Cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Butterfly FPV is actually in the process of testing 5 different versions. Stablant 22 is one of the 5, but there's apparently 4 other electrical contact enhancers out there. I mean, I was hoping for more than 5-ish% of an improvement, but like, I don't know. It makes a lot of sense. Look, it's 2026 and we're just hearing about this stuff. If it was giving people 50% more performance, we would have heard about it forever ago, right? And so it's not like a game changer. Maybe the other stuff can get to 10%, but I don't know. I doubt it. And like Stablant 22 is a fancy name, and the company seems to be pretty like, you know, sciencey. And so I have a feeling this stuff is probably just as good as the other stuff that's out there. It's looking at the tubes, the 5 tubes that he has of the different stuff, the Stablant 22 is the most official looking. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes, you know, you just look at something and it just looks official. That's kind of the deal. So,
FPV,
sweet. Go ahead.
FPV says, I started playing D&D with my brother and his friends in the mid 80s, if I remember right.
Nice.
If you were playing in the 90s and bought fresh Ciotti, you were playing AD&D 2nd edition.
2nd edition, eh? Very
Yep.
cool. I was never the DM, so I never bothered to buy the book. I was just that guy that showed up with character sheets and dice. Let's see. Oh, Why are two motors twitching? Don't do that. Are the C-clips rubbing on the frame? I think they might be. Let's try this. Put it into turtle mode. We're going to spin each motor up. All right, let's see. All better. With the Cockroach 65 V3 frame and Tiny Whoop Happy Model WeBleed motors, the C-clip can rub a little bit on the frame. I actually drill the frames out with like a drill bit that's slightly bigger than the middle hole in the frame, and it helps it quite a bit. But sometimes when you change motors, especially if you over tighten the motor screws, which I probably just did, it can rub a little bit. And so I went into turtle mode and just spun it in, and that kind of self-clearanced it. If I change these motors back, though, I will go back in there and open those holes up a little bit. When you over tighten the screws, it smushes the plastic out, and the hole, instead of being round, it turns into like a little triangle because you're pushing the plastic into where that C-clip goes. So, yeah, there's that, which is a little bit annoying, but welcome to FPV. Let's see what kind of RPM we get. There's a chance that with whatever rubbing was just happening, we're going to get shit. Oh my god. 58,975. Pretty good. This was not a totally fresh battery. I spun it up and whatnot, so we'll see on the next battery what we get. So, 40,000s. Not as much of a difference as you would think. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking there. It looked like I was thinking that the railing was going to get out of my way.
Jules says, what if you put Stablant on the plug and batteries?
So Stablant 22 will stay through a couple of plug cycles, a couple of plug-in and unplug cycles. But with batteries, you're going to unplug and plug them hundreds of times, so it's going to wear off. And yeah, also, the BT 2.0 plugs were designed to not be a bottleneck. And so it probably won't help at all. Because, yeah, that plug is not a bottleneck, whereas the motor plugs obviously are, right? Like we've seen motor plugs versus direct solder, and direct solder wins every time. And so the motor plugs are obviously adding resistance, like we know that. And so improving that a little bit, improving it in any way, is going to help. Make sense? I think one of these props might be a little out of balance. I got a little bit of, not jello, but blurriness. Hey. So yeah, more power, but not that much more power. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Zach is doomed by the bell says, Ciotti, regarding the ball sack canopy, I've had great luck with just cutting down the mount for a Nano 4 and gluing any camera to that back with E6000.
Oh, yeah, sure. I always forget about just like gluing shit together. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I did push the battery a little bit past 3.5 for hover. That's pretty cool. I dig that. That's a great idea. E6000 is just like so magical that I'm sure that setup is completely fine. Probably like relatively bomb proof. That's like, I dig it. I see somebody mentioning the garbage pilot kids.
Yep. Let's skip to that one. Jimmy the Cow says, how do I get one of your garbage pail kid stickers? I saw it on the gram.
I didn't even realize there would be stickers. I just, that's right. I just thought, wow, what a hysterical AI graphic design. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that.
So there are literal packs of cards that you can get, and Ciotti and possibly myself are going to be in the next set. That's what's coming out right now, and that you're seeing on Instagram right now.
59,850, by the way, friends.
TheCrewFPV.com is where the GPPs are sold. I can drop a link to that in chat.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to get on there myself and grab a set. That's really, really cool. Yeah, those guys are... I have 6 fingers in it because 5 fingers is not enough. And we always need to make sure that we know when things are AI. I would actually prefer... I prefer that because, like, I want to know... I wish there was a law that would say all AI images of people must have 6 fingers so that we always know. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. So 59,800 RPM. So we did almost get to 60,000. So roughly like an extra 3,000 or so RPM. The difference between in power between these motors, it's here. Like I can totally tell, but it's not night and day. It's not like going to a newbie drone 30,000 or an RC in power 30,000 or the VCI 30,000s. Those are just like almost uncontrollable. This is still absolutely controllable. I'm a little surprised that we lost over 30 seconds of runtime. That could have just been a soft battery though. I'll be interested to see what the runtime is on this battery here. I can't believe I clipped the edge of that. Oh, God, I hit the vent. Go ahead, Kevin.
FitzPV says, my brother's friends like me playing because I was usually halfling of pure chaos.
Nice. The quad's over there playing the Tim Gunn theme. Battery must have came momentarily unplugged. I'm not flying great at the moment. Again, more powerful motors are harder to fly. They are fun, don't get me wrong, but they are legitimately harder to fly. Oh, we got a bunch more time. We're only at 2 minutes and 20-ish seconds. Oh, man, I wanted to try to go out the middle and then go out the bottom. Small dog, what are you doing? Ooh, sorry, buddy.
Jules didn't tag us, but he says, they say, my cousin has 6 toes. I guess fingers is okay for AI recognition.
There we go. So there we go. Another 2 minute and 33 second battery. So a serious decrease in runtime with not a massive increase in power, which I've definitely noticed before. Like it's yeah, less throttle resolution, a good chunk less runtime, for a little bit more power. It's tough. I think I'm still into the 32,500s. This is now a old school lava orange battery. I just want to keep flying this and see if I can get used to the extra power. Oh, that was just me flying like an anus. I turned the wrong way.
Asked me earlier about the build that's closest to that one earlier. It turns out I do have a build that I believe is a Mobula 6 2024 frame swapped to a Meteor 65 frame and motor swapped to, these are WeBleed 0702 28-500s.
Oh, yo,
and it's a ball set
those
canopy.
28.5s, it's the same kind of thing as these 40s. Like, they definitely make less power, but it's pretty close actually.
Yep, that's why I've been sticking to the 32s. I think I only got one order of the 28s when they first came out.
Yeah, that's... I don't blame you. Oh man, I thought I could do 3 in a row, but I was sadly mistaken. Get up in there. Come on now. This is gonna be a struggle. Made it though, sorta. Oh god, drum set trying to eat me. I will admit, with the more powerful motors, I have a tendency to just absolutely like hammer full throttle a lot. And that does kill the batteries. So let me try to fly a little bit. I don't want to say normal, but like less insane for a second here. Because if you don't fly like a complete lunatic, you can get runtime out of all these motors. except the RC and powers.
But why would you not fly like a complete lunatic?
It's true. Okay, well, this battery is a hot mess. 1 minute and 50 seconds. So you can see the difference between an older battery and the magical new WeBleed 340s. That's a lot less runtime there. What happened here with this antenna? What's going on with you, little buddy? Why can't I get this antenna in here? What's it pushing up against? Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So there you go. I'm going to leave these 40s on here and keep flying this thing. By the way, this is a hashtag 6 batteries live stream, so fly your 6 batteries today so that you're a better pilot tomorrow. I just flew 5. Yeah, I'm going to leave these on here and keep flying them. And then at some point, I'm going to do the reverse of this. I'm going to go from the 40s down to the 32.5s and see which ones I like better. I would love to have had these motors on at Sloss because the tiny whoop area was massive. And the 32,500s, I needed a little bit extra power. I was having to just sit at full throttle for a little bit longer than I wanted to. These would have been really nice there. For in here, inside the house, these might be a bit much. I'll probably get used to them, but like, again, I legitimately do think that you should fly the lowest power setup you possibly can to give yourself the best throttle resolution that you can get. That's been one of the keys to me being able to do a lot of the shit that... What are you doing? Get out of there! What is this? That's the for sale box. You're eating FPV parts now? He walks over like nothing just happened. Oh, now he's up on the chair. He knows he did something wrong. Bad. He's up on the chair now. Look at him.
Look at that face. Oh, Dad, I was being an okay dog.
What are you doing now? You're scratching? Now what are you going to do? You going to go do it again? No, he's not. He is. Look at him. Hey! What's the matter with you? What are you doing over there? Is this because I'm not giving you attention? Answer me. Okay. That's the answer that I get. As a slow walk off is the answer. Ah, what a good dog. What a good dog. So yeah, that's the deal. Which motors should you buy? I think the 32.5s, unless you're gonna fly this in like a big ass space or outside. In which case, maybe you'll want to go even more than these. What's nice about these 40, so like we've got from like lowest power that realistically you should have nowadays to like it's like gonna murder all your batteries and your family. The Tiny Whoop 32,000s, the WeBleed 32,500s, they're sort of like here. They're right around here. The 40,000s are in here. And then Newbie Drone Hummingbird 30s, RC and Power 29s, and now they've got like a 31 or a 32. And then there's the VCI 30s, and now like a 32 or a 33. Those are way the hell up here. Those are like wreck your battery territory, like 2 minutes of runtime kind of stuff. And so the 40s are kind of cool because you're sort of right down the middle. But to be really honest, man, the 32.5s are they're really, really good. You could absolutely get these 40s and motor limit them down 90%. And now you're going to get like maybe 5 seconds less runtime than the actual 32,500s at 100%. And if you go to fly it in a big location, you crank the motor limiting up to 100%, and you have the extra power. When you're flying around your house, you turn it down to 90%. That's probably the best idea. That's probably the way to go. But if you're trying to eke out every second of runtime possible, the WeBleed 32500 0702s are just awesome. They're just so good. And like, having a motor that you run at 100% and it's the same amount of power every single time you fly it, like, that's how you fly really good. You don't fly good by motor limiting up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And so if you can control yourself and not change the motor limiting all the time, you'll be fine. But if you're bouncing that amount of power that you're getting up and down, up and down, up and down, then you're not going to get as good as fast, basically. Make sense? It is 11:40. Look at that. Good Lord. Usually it's like 12:40 by the time I get done with the stuff that we're doing. Let me clean another one. Oh my God. I haven't told you guys. Holy hell. These HGLRC 1202.5s that got the rust dust in them from Sloss are a nightmare to clean. It's taking me like a half an hour to get all of the rust shit out of these because they're just so small. The bell is just so little. I'll do another one though, since we have some time, and since pulling these bells off of these C-clip motors is a bit of an art form. First thing you're gonna want is magnification. These are Yaktosun head-mounted magnifying goggles. This is a 3.5x lens. These are amazing. Do your soldering with these. Do your itty-bitty tiny whoop work with these so you can actually see what you're doing. Best way to do this is in a clear Ziploc bag or any clear bag so that if this C-clip/E-clip tries to escape, it stays within the bag. I've done this enough times where I can usually get it by hand. The key is on your offhand to put a finger, either your index finger or your thumb, over where you're going to be pushing the C-clip. So in this case, I'm going to push the C-clip in this direction. So I'm going to keep this finger here. What sucks is that you guys can't see what the hell I'm doing. But all I'm doing is taking the jaws of these pliers and putting them on the C-clip and then opening them up a little bit and pushing at the same time. When you look at a C-clip or an E-clip, it's pretty obvious how you remove it. And that's all that I'm doing here. On these HGLRC motors, the C-clip is recessed a little bit, but it's not that bad. The other key is to not like rush this or get frustrated. Drank your drank, smoke your dank, do whatever you got to do to be as calm as possible, because the first like 20 of these that you do, it's not going to go smoothly. It's going to be annoying, and so just chill, because as soon as you get annoyed doing this, you stab yourself or you lose the C-clip.
You know what I have found that works?
What's that?
Taking a flat blade screwdriver and laying it like against the face of the bottom of the motor and using that to get it open enough that then I can take another tool on the other side and pop it,
Yep.
obviously in the back.
Yep. So the Happy Model motors, that works beautifully. A motor like this where the C-clip is recessed down, that usually doesn't work. I don't know if I usually just skip that. I usually only try that on the Happy Model motors, but let's actually see. Because this HGLRC motor is not that bad. The C-clip is not recessed that bad, but it's way worse than the Happy Model motors. This also hurts a lot less when you stab yourself with it.
I also have
quite enough.
The security bits. There's in the iFixit kit that I use, it has like, it looks like a flat blade that you cut a circle out of, and so that works just ultra nice.
That reminds me of the Weha chip lifter. This is what I used for the longest time. It's got this little slot in the blade here. Let's see if this guy will actually work. Yeah, no, it's recessed a little bit too far for this. Damn it, that's a shame. Yeah, it's one of the things I really like about the Happy Model motors. It's like a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because the C-clip being so far out hits the Cockroach V3 frame, and so you have to drill the frame out a little bit. But then when you go to change when you have to do this, it's super easy to do. So
I wish
pluses and minuses at all things.
I wish they'd use the ones that have the little holes for getting in with
Yeah.
like special tweezers for pulling them off.
Xnova does. Xnova uses those. But
Yeah, exactly,
They
exactly.
make good stuff. Man, I'm having a hell of a time with this one. Let me just take a breath here.
That's a motor company that you don't hear a whole lot out of.
Yeah,
Xnova.
unfortunately. They're busy making lifter stuff. All right, so here we go. Wiggle these back and
I
forth
guess-
to get them even.
I guess they do helicopters as well.
I need the helicopter on the soundboard.
Helicopter.
It's a missed opportunity.
Yep.
All right, so now I'm starting to get annoyed. This is how it goes. I'm being as gentle as I can. There we go. I'm being as gentle as I can because when you're even a little bit not gentle, that's when you lose the damn thing. And so yeah, just stay calm, keep at it, and you'll get it. So C-clip comes off. On some motors, there's now going to be a washer. On this motor, there is not. And so at this point, we should be able to pull the bell straight off. And there is going to be a washer on the inside here. Almost always take this out before you lose it, because these are so small they will absolutely disappear. And that's it. And so now if you have magnetic sand or rust dust or any other garbage inside your motor, what you're going to want is some silly putty or fun tack. In this case, I'm using a little bit of the thermally resistive putty from Mass Adhesives because this thing is like filled. There's a lot in here and there doesn't need to be that much. Some sort of a putty that's like a little bit sticky that you can mold like this and then just jam in there. And the garbage is just going to stick to this. You can kind of see it. So I just really quickly push that up against the magnets. You can actually see the magnets there. And come on. All right. Oh, you bastard. Hold on. So you can see the brown. There you go. See all that brown? That's all that rust dust. There you go. You can really see it. I will keep doing this over and over and over again on this, and it will keep coming out brown. You're gonna do that until it comes out clean, and then all you do is just like pull and fold to just bury that inside of the putty, and then just keep going. I'm also gonna do it on the stator itself. It's tedious, but this is it. I mean, you can try to use compressed air. You can try to use one of my favorite suggestions recently was a water pick. You know good and well that you're not using it for your mouth, so you might as well use it for your quads. Yeah, it's, you've got particles that are magnetically attracted to these relatively strong magnets, so it doesn't want to come with you. It wants to stay in there, so it's hard to get it out. And the smaller the motor is, the more of a pain in the ass it is. Like doing this on a 5-inch motor, it takes you like 2 or 3 minutes and you're good to go. On these little guys, it is much, much more tedious. Because it's hard to get it in there. And then like you got to be careful, because if a little bit of this putty gets stuck inside the magnets, it's going to throw the bell drastically out of balance. And so you want to do this with your magnified goggles on so that you can see that. So you can see any little bits that might come off. That this thermally resistive putty is probably not the right stuff to be using. I should probably go out and snag a little thing of the blue Fun Tack. I feel like the blue Fun Tack doesn't get stuck to the motor bell like this stuff does. I had always used blue Fun Tack. I had a little wad of it in my machinist toolbox here for a long time. It's probably still in there. I couldn't find it when I was looking the other day, and I had this putty sitting here. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. So going in the top a little bit here because there's a bunch on the top of the magnets. I can't get to all of them, but doing my best. And yeah, you just push it, it conforms to the shape, and then just give it a look when it comes out. It's starting to look clean on the top here. So I think I'm done on the top. Let's go back in the bottom. I can still see just a ton of it. One of the other things I'll do is roll it out into a little worm and then wrap it like halfway around and really push it in there. And yeah, always look at it when it comes out. And that's it. You just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. Sporny says, would a big-ass magnet work too? Just overpower? I don't think so. It might screw up these magnets, actually. Jimmy the Cow says, E6000 cure and peel. That would probably work. Or hot glue, even. Hot glue would probably be perfect. Because you wouldn't have to wait 24 hours for it to cure. I'm tempted to try that. Tempted to try hot glue real quick.
Do it. Do it.
The problem is my hot glue sticks are black, so I don't know if we'll see anything coming off of them.
No. Get some classic hot glue sticks.
Yeah, I have some in the garage. I don't have any here though. Let's take a look. Let's see what this does. With a hot glue gun, you'd probably want to do this with a hot glue gun. You could just squirt a big blob of it in there, and then yoink it out. This is now maybe even getting into the territory of ripping the magnets off. This is a little sketchy. Where's that area that had... Ow! I just touched the lighter. Here it is. There's a whole bunch over here. And so if I gabba gabba this down in there, I wonder if it's touching the magnets. Yeah, I can see it touching the magnets. So let's see. Give it a second. And oh god. Oh, it definitely worked. Holy shit, it definitely worked. But now I got a blob of it in there. But I mean, hot glue is usually good about coming out on one hit. Yeah, there we go. That came right out. Hot glue might be the way to go. That worked really well, and it didn't pull super hard to come out. I would probably not do it with the lighter method. I would probably just get a hot glue gun and just a bunch in there and then let it dry and yank it back out. I forget where I saw the hot glue trick for cleaning stuff, but that worked really well. There's absolutely a bunch of crud on here. So yeah,
Yep.
shit, maybe hot glue is the proper meta.
Uriel says, you get a big blob out. Gee, new TikTok tip.
There it is. Yeah, right? Damn. Yo, that worked really well. I will report back. I am going to be trying that because that might be the key for these little motors. For the bigger motors, for the bigger motor bells, the putty is totally fine. Because you have more space to get it in there and out of there. But boy, on these little motors, the putty is pretty challenging. So yeah, damn. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna stop doing it because I want to. I've done the whole of this motor. I could just keep going with the putty, and eventually this would get clean all the way clear. But I actually want to do this with the hot glue gun in the garage with clear hot glue and see how much more shit it pulls out of there, because this is taking too long with the silly putty on these little motors. And so if hot glue is a better bet for the itty bitty motors, then I'm just gonna start doing that. Man, that really burned the shit out of me. Jesus. Very, very cool. Good call, Jimmy the Cow. As soon as I read that, it reminded me of, I think it might have been somebody. Hold on, let's see. I think it might have been an FPV Instagram reel, cleaning FPV motors with hot glue. Let's see what happens here. Hot glue to remove rust. Yeah, okay, so it's a thing people have been doing. Trying to remember where I saw it though. There's somebody using putty or fun tack or whatever. Was it this? No, that's not it. I saw it somewhere and forgot about it. Here's somebody else using the fun tack. Very, very cool. Maybe this is maybe this will be my excuse to get a battery powered hot glue gun, because boy, plugging them in sucks. It always tips them over and shit.
I just did that upgrade because I've got foam planes that I'm flying, and oh, it's so much nicer than having to deal with the stupid cord.
Yeah, a battery powered. There are certain things that having battery powered is really like a big difference.
They also sell the battery powered ones, but they go with if you're into one of the tool battery ecosystems, like I've got Milwaukee stuff. They sell.
That's what I'm typing right now. Milwaukee hot glue gun. How much are you? Oh, there's a knockoff one. Now we're talking. 'Cause I'm not gonna use it. Oh, nice. I'm not gonna use it very much. So I'm fine with it being a knockoff. I don't want it to take the big battery though. I want it to take the little Milwaukee battery. No, it doesn't need to take the M18 batteries. Yeah. Yeah, the only M18 batteries I have are massive to run the weed whacker and the vacuum cleaner and shit like that. Like, they would be the biggest overkill ever. Are you serious? They don't have any with the little battery? You idiots. Whatever. And it'll never fall over with that giant battery on the bottom. And I mean, Jesus, for $19. Although I don't know what I'm doing on this website. Let me go to the good website. Here we go. Maybe here we go. Oh, for God's sakes. Hot glue gun. Let's see. Here it is. $16. I'm just going to leave this tab opened and then scroll and scroll and scroll, and eventually I won't see any with the smaller battery, and I'll just say to hell with it.
They're all coming from the same factory in China too.
Yeah, right.
Like, you look at they're the same stock images on, like, there's like 2 stock images and they're like back and forth.
So true. Jesus. All right, friends, thanks for hanging. I'll be back on Wednesday. And we're going to take a look at this. And we're going to take a look at this. And we're going to take a look at this. That WeBleedFPV sent me. This is their new HD system. And this showed up on like Thursday when I was knee deep in all the stuff that was going on. And so it's just been sitting. I haven't even broken the tape opened on it. And so we will open it on the live stream and just pretend like we don't know anything and see what it's like to set up, and then maybe fly it around a little bit. Although this is like a 2-inch, Neo. This is not really for flying around the house, but We'll see what the setup is like. We'll see what the latency is like. What's it? I don't even know what's in this box. It says 1,000 mAh on it. Is that an extra battery? It's extra batteries. Extra little Aquila 20 batteries. I have a funny feeling that after I fly this a little bit, I will tear it apart and pull the camera and VTX out of it and build something a lot lighter with it. That will certainly not be on Wednesday's live stream. Wednesday's live stream will be like unboxing. And so, yeah, if you don't like unboxings, skip the first probably hour. But maybe it's good. What is it called? Artisan, right? It's one of the Artisan.
Artisan Art Link is the
things.
like
Art
generic
Link,
name.
that's it.
Yeah.
Artisan Art Link.
And actually, the HGLRC system is going to be compatible with the Beta FPV system, I think.
Oh, thank
These are
God.
all Art Link. Yeah, it sounds like compatibility is coming.
You guys see that? Look at that. Good for you, Beta FPV. I guess this is 2S because that's the BT 3.0 connector. That's really cool. I really, really, really like that they used a BT 3.0 connector on these, admittedly like custom batteries, but typically when they do a custom battery like this, they'll use some totally proprietary connector. In this case, yep, and they even use the correct side of it. So you could technically run any old BT 3.0 battery in this Aquila 20. You would just have to figure out a way to secure it. Really, really cool. I don't think I've ever seen someone do a custom battery like this and use a connector that can be used anywhere else. That's actually really slick.
So then
and look at this slick little triple charger. Although I was about to say I couldn't find a plug on it, but there it is. There's a little USB 2.0 plug.
You could also use that charger with your BT 2.0 batteries.
You're right. You're right. You could totally just plug them right in there. Very cool. Beta FPV is Beta FPV has been impressing me lately, man. They're making some good stuff. They're making some good decisions. That I wouldn't think to do that. You know, like if I was making a specific battery for it, I'd be like, put a fucking Elemento dong plug on it. It'll be great. Very cool. Yeah, the goggles are in here, the little controller, the quad. So this will be a full-blown, like, hey, I want to start flying FPV kind of live stream on Wednesday. So yeah, that'll be neat. Very exciting. Yuke says, oh snap, you have the goggles too? Yep, they're in there. Uriel says, check mail for check and trace. I got that email. Thank you, dude. And then Atreides says, trust me, you want the bigger battery. Okay. Yeah, hot glue guns do need to get pretty hot. That's a good call. Not that I have a choice. Thanks for hanging, people. See you Wednesday night. CiottiFPV.com to support me so that I can keep doing this. Get you some 40,000 kV motors. If you buy some stuff, some FPV stuff, use my affiliate links that are on the website as well, and we'll keep rocking into the free world. Be good, people. Kevin, any last second words of wisdom?
You all need more fiber. Everyone needs more fiber. Hank Green just posted a video about this last week, and
nice.
It's true. Go eat you some more fiber, get some more salad, whatever you can do.
Do this, friends. Here's one of my food hacks recently. At most grocery stores, they sell big bags of croutons. Buy one of those. At most grocery stores, they sell 6 packs of romaine lettuce. Start buying those. Get like a big rubber Tupperware thing. Chop up 2 or 3, however many you can fit, into of the heads of romaine lettuce, and just keep that shit in the refrigerator. And then get a bunch of little cherry tomatoes. Get some shredded cheese, and you can knock out like a really decent salad in like not a lot of time. And you'll get loads of fiber. You can easily do it once a day. That's my dinner tonight. I made teriyaki chicken, and then Maggie and I just dumped the teriyaki chicken into in with a bunch of the lettuce, some tomatoes, some shredded cheese. It was awesome. It's super easy. I used to get like iceberg lettuce, and that's a fucking pain in the ass. Like the romaine lettuce is easy to chop up. It's If you have the remain thing like this, you cut lengthwise, you rotate it, you cut lengthwise, and then ga 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 ga, and it's like perfect bits. Away you go. Get you some fucking Hidden Valley avocado oil ranch, and you're in business. Eat, live, laugh, love. Fuck off. I'll see you guys Wednesday.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sadi's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah, yo, Sadi behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in. Teddy, yeah. Let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind. Teddy, yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, Teddy and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends singing loud.